Hey there, my name's Jill Anderson, and I'm one of the registered dietitians with the Jack and Jill Health Weight Loss Program. Today, I'm going to walk you through our emotional eating group session. During this session, we'll learn about what emotional eating is, and we'll talk about how to identify the signs that you may be using food to cope with your feelings. We'll talk about how emotional eating can affect those on weight loss medications, and we'll finish off by discussing strategies to help combat emotional eating. Before we get started, I want to introduce our team of registered dietitians. On the left, we have Bianca. She works with clients who reside in BC and the Maritime provinces. Then we have me. I support our clients that live in Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. And lastly, we have Alana on the right who meets with our clients in Alberta. All right. So, what is emotional eating? Emotional eating is the practice of consuming food in response to emotions rather than for nourishment or hunger. You may eat because you're sad, depressed, stressed, or lonely, or you may use food as a reward for something that you maybe worked hard for or a more positive emotion. Food can be soothing and can distract you from what's really bothering you. If you eat for emotional reasons, you may not notice when your body is hungry or full. So you may lose touch with your natural hunger cues. You may eat more than you need or want. Eating is a super common coping mechanism for stress, sadness, boredom, or other emotional triggers. Emotional eating can interfere with making healthy food choices, and it can keep you from achieving and maintaining your best weight. I'm going to read this example from the Heart and Stroke Foundation to help us create a better picture of what emotional eating really looks like. Picture a stressful day. Your boss called you out in front of the whole team for a slip up. Your mom's new medication doesn't seem to be helping her. You keep forgetting to call the roofer about that leak. You buy your favorite pastry and sit down to enjoy it. After the first bite, a text message arrives and you start checking your phone. Soon, all that remains of your sweet treat is a paper bag covered in crumbs. You ate the whole thing, but you didn't even take time to enjoy it. Does this scenario sound familiar? Maybe you replace a sweet treat with something crunchy or salty, but the idea is the same. It's called emotional eating, turning to food for comfort when you feel stressed, angry, or sad, even if you're not hungry. Now we'll go over some signs to identify emotional eating. It's important to note that all humans eat for reasons besides true hunger from time to time. Sometimes we eat simply because of food looks or smells good, or maybe it's a social setting. Not all of those eating experiences are for true hunger, but they may also not be for emotional reasons. Um, that said, if you notice that you're routinely reaching for food out of boredom or comfort, you may be eating for emotional reasons. Some causes of emotional eating include the desire to eat when feeling both positive and negative emotions. Emotional eating may be influenced by social or cultural influences. There may also be environmental influences that can trigger emotional eating for some people. The reality is that emotional eating is often a learned behavior and can become a habit that is deeply ingrained. So, some of the signs and symptoms of emotional eating include increased cravings and food noise that are correlated with feeling strong emotions, mindless eating during times of boredom or fatigue, eating when in the absence of hunger cues or until uncomfortably full, feelings of guilt or shame after eating, Changing your eating habits when you have more stress in your life, or eating to avoid dealing with a stressful situation. Eating to soothe your feelings or comfort yourself. Maybe using food as a reward. For example, that was a really tough job, assignment, or argument. I need some ice cream, candy, or popcorn. Or eating for fear of disappointing a loved one. Negative effects of emotional eating. So, of course, emotional eating can contribute to gradual weight gain over time due to the more frequent consumption of calorie dense foods in larger portions. As we know, overconsumption of these foods, along with excess weight, can increase your risk of many chronic diseases. Emotional eating may also result in poor self worth, struggles with body image, and poor confidence. Weight loss medications can help to reduce cravings and help you to control portion sizes. However, this will not be effective long term if we do not identify and resolve the root causes of the emotional eating. All right, now that we've learned about what emotional eating is and how to identify the patterns, let's review some strategies that you can practice to overcome emotional eating. Number one, keeping a journal of your food and mood can help you to identify your triggers. So, this is different than just tracking your calories and monitoring your protein and your macros. This is more about keeping a log of when and what you eat. Include some information about how you're feeling and the emotions that are associated with certain foods or for certain times of eating, and maybe what you were doing while you were eating. Keep a food and mood journal to help you increase awareness. So, this will help you to identify some of your triggers and your common patterns. Record when and what you ate, along with how you're feeling and what you're doing. Review your food journal and take note of the triggers and the patterns. Common triggers include feeling tired, stressed, anxious, bored, burnt out, and lonely. Strategy number two, so learn and practice alternative coping strategies specific to your personal triggers. So this is a good one to try after you've done the food journal and sort of learned a little bit more, created some awareness about your specific triggers. And some examples would include fatigue. So if you're reaching for more undesirable foods or making different choices about food when you're feeling tired, if this is something that's recurring, then we might want to focus some of your personal behavior change goals around improving your sleep hygiene. Stress, if you're eating for stress management as to cope with stress, we may want to think about ways we can prioritize self-care, set boundaries, maybe seeking out some therapy sessions and working through some of that stress management with a mental health professional. Boredom, if you're eating out of boredom, that's still emotional eating. So distract yourself by planning an activity, reading a book, or practicing a new hobby. Think of some ways to keep yourself entertained that don't involve food. So if you are just habitually eating at the end of the day, maybe you turn on a show. Um, Thinking about some other ways, or maybe reducing the frequency of those behaviors and habits so that you're not attaching food to them, or learning how to find other strategies to keep yourself entertained that don't involve food or maybe aren't associated as strongly with eating food or snacking. Number three, practice changing your response to your triggers. So this can take some time, but when you notice your emotional eating triggers, learn to distract yourself and delay the impulse of reaching for food. So wait it out for a little while. You could call a friend, take a walk, do a meditation, drink a glass of water, but practicing is crucial. It will take time to change these, like, really strongly ingrained behaviors, but it can be done. All right, so back to the basics. Work towards building a healthy relationship with food. This also takes time. Our registered dietitians and mental wellness professionals, we have a great team of wellness professionals that can help you with this. Uh, Practice self compassion and make peace with food. Offer a variety of nutrient dense foods and establish regular meal times. Be intentional with your nutrition. So, having a really solid routine around your food can really help to reduce those cravings and those impulses to overindulge. Reject the diet mentality and work toward lifelong sustainable changes. Emotional eating is a common struggle and barrier to maintaining a healthy weight. Our team is here to help you sort through your specific challenges with emotional eating. So please, we encourage you to reach out for guidance and we can help you to sort through this and set goals to help you make the changes stick. Some additional resources there and some references. Heart and Stroke Foundation has some great emotional eating articles and some research-based strategies there. Intuitive eating is another sort of principle and really a good framework to help with emotional eating. HealthLink BC has some good straightforward tips as well that we've used some of those in our presentation here. So lots of good information out there. Also lots of more sketchy information. So just to be careful about that. And if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to reach out to our team. We're happy to help you find additional resources as well. And if you have any questions, please do email your specific dietitian or wellness provider with any questions, or if you want to set up a supplemental appointment, we encourage you to do so and we can help you with that. All right, that concludes the presentation. Thanks for joining. Bye.